Hello everyone, today I'm doing the DNF book tag. So I was tagged for this video by Jake Bishop, whose channel I will link down below. And yeah, this tag was created by Gunpowder Fiction and Plot. And I'll also link the original video down in the description below, so you can check those out. DNF, obviously it stands for did not finish. So let's get right into it. The first question is, do you DNF? For me, that's a bit of a complicated question because I would generally say yes, I do. But I would say I would only DNF in extreme cases, when I'm really not enjoying a book or when I'm really just not feeling like reading a specific book. Then, because I am kind of a completionist as well, so most often when I pick up a book, it's mostly based on the recommendation of somebody, or it's based on the fact that I'm really interested in something that I heard about this book. And for me, it's always like hard to put it down before really finding out if I actually like it. So even if I'm just like okay about a book for a while, I'll probably just keep on reading just to find out if I like it by the end. But I think if I was really hating a book throughout, or maybe for 50% of it, then maybe I would DNF. So yeah, it's a bit complicated because I am a completionist, so it's hard to say yes straight away, but I think in general, if I would actually be hating something, I would probably put it down. The second question is, if you DNF a book, does it count towards books read for the month? I would say no, because for me, I only want to count the books that I actually finish. So, but I know this is up to everybody, obviously, how they want to do it. But for me personally, I wouldn't feel okay with counting it as read. The third question is there a difference between DNF and just putting it down for a bit? Yes, I would say. So for me, I do the second one, like putting it down for a bit, quite a lot. I think DNF is mostly like you're like, okay, I'm not planning to get back to it. Just putting it down for a bit is just more like if you're not in the mood for it, or if you just don't feel like reading it right now, but you know you will get back to it at some point. So yeah, for me, the best example for just putting it down is like The 40 Rules of Love, which is a book I read back in April. I read like 100 pages of it, and I was enjoying it, but I just was not in the mood for it because I was not expecting what I got from that book. So yeah, I put it down, and I actually wanted to get back into it sooner than this, but I still have not. So yeah, but I'm still planning to get into it because I think I will actually enjoy the book, but I'm just not in the mood for it right now because it's a literary fiction book, and it's something that I feel like it's something that I will want to read when I'm not necessarily just reading for enjoyment, which I'm doing mostly right now. It's something that a friend recommended, and I want to get back to it. Just I have not gotten back into it. Yeah, another good example for just putting it down for a bit is The Well of Ascension, which is a book I was reading back in, I want to say I started it in July, but it took me longer than I expected it to read, and I had exams in August, so I put it down over August and then got back into it after my exams in September. So yeah, stuff like that happens a lot for me, so I have a lot of books that I put down for a while and then get back to it. Yeah, but I always intend to finish them, so I think DNF is more like I do not intend to finish it for now. The fourth question is, what popular book have you DNF'd? Now, for me, I think the most popular one that I have actually DNF'd is probably The Martian by Andy Weir, and it's not even, I didn't even DNF it because I didn't like it. I was listening to this on audiobook, and it was the first audiobook I ever listened to, and I just wasn't into audiobooks back then. That's the main reason. I just wouldn't make time for it. I think I started it back in like March or April in 2019, and I was only like halfway through, like in December of 2019. So I decided to put it down and maybe to get into the ebook or something. But now last year I got back into audiobooks with the Dresden Files, so I may actually get back into The Martian on audio. I already got the audiobook again, so yeah, that's the one that I did DNF, mostly because I just didn't like the format back then and didn't have the time to like listen to audiobooks as much. But again, it's something that I'm planning to get into at some point. But yeah, back then the intention was actually to put it down. The fifth question is, what book do you wish you had DNF'd? And for that one, I think it's The Girl on the Train, which is a psychological thriller. Yeah, this is actually quite a popular book, but I actually enjoyed the first 2/3 of that book. And then I hated the ending. Or not even hated, I was just like, it's not worth the ending. I heard it's one of the best thrillers with an unreliable narrator. I never heard anybody say that the twist at the end wasn't good. And for me, I was just baffled that the twist at the end was what it was. So yeah, I think it's just a book that I wish I would have known that I never picked up, because I mean, I don't know how people feel about that twist, because back when I picked it up, I wasn't really involved in the bookish community that much. I was expecting a really good twist at the end, and I just didn't get it, and I wish I just didn't bother reading it. The next question is, do you ever reattempt to read a DNF, and has this ever been successful for you? And yeah, as I said before, I haven't tried this yet, but I'm planning to do this with The Martian. I'm expecting that it would actually work out for me, because I think the story that The Martian was telling was really interesting. I just wasn't interested in the format, so I think it will work. But since I haven't put down anything because I was actively hating it, I don't know if I would actually pick it back up at some point and try it again. So yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I'm going to try with The Martian. Question number 7 is, what do you do with books you DNF? For the audiobook of The Martian, I just gave it back, because Audible has this return policy that you can't just give books back if you don't like them. I think for physical books, I'd probably keep them for a bit just to see if I would want to reattempt them. And then if I don't reattempt them or don't plan to reattempt them, I'd probably just either donate them to a library or sell them, or yeah, give them to a friend who would maybe like it. Something like that. So I'd probably get rid of it. Question number 8. Do you choose more or less risky titles because of your stance on DNF? Now, since I said I'm mostly completionist and I don't like DNFing books, I've been mostly picking up stuff that's less risky. But I think that's something mainly because I'm still going through the popular books that I really think I'll like. I think that will change at some point when I've gotten through the main books that I've really been looking forward to, and which I know most likely that I will like. So yeah, I would say it has been that I've been picking up things that are less risky for me to DNF, but I think that might change over the course of the coming years. And then the last one is tag 5 BookTube buddies. The first one I'm tagging is Knickknack's Corner. The second person I'm tagging is Patrick Leo. I don't know if he does book tag, but I'll let him know that I'm tagging him, and I hope he does this. Then I have Madison Goodyear, The Bearded Bookworm, and Ravenbell Books. You should check out all 5 of these. That's all for the DNF tag. Thanks to Jake for tagging me, and thanks to Gunpowder Fiction and Plot for making the tag. It was quite fun. I think mine wasn't that interesting because I haven't DNF'd a lot of stuff. So yeah, I don't know how interesting this was, but I hope you liked the video. If you did, leave a like, leave a comment, please subscribe, and yeah, tell me what your stance on DNFing books is. And yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.